Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is December 1st, and as you can see on TikTok here, the market is in a uptrend under pressure. And what does that mean? Well, it means that we are this run may be losing some steam and may be coming under pressure. We've got to be careful with any new positions that we open up now. I was stopped out of a position. Now we're back. Sorry about that. We had a little issue with the sound. So I'm just going to put up the slides now, and we're going to get back into the show as quick as I can. Basically, the market has changed into a market under pressure. Now, why is this important, and what do we do when we have this kind of situation? Well, what we need to do in a situation like this is we need to start reducing the size of our positions, trying to not go out with as many new positions, and just overall just try to, to be more careful in terms of, in terms of everything that we're looking to do here. So this is kind of an issue. So I just kind of want to show you sort of what I've been buying today. I did buy one thing today. It's Hut 8 Mining. It's a crypto stock. I bought a half position in this, and I was expecting a little bit of a bounce. It's off, so I wouldn't quite recommend this as an entry point here. But this is one that I did buy today. So kind of an interesting stock if you want to get into the crypto space. What these guys do at Hut 8 Mining, and the symbol on this is HUT, H-U-T, is that they are a crypto miner. They mine Bitcoin and in Canada. And one of the advantages, of course, of mining in Canada is Canada has some of the least expensive rates for electricity in the world. And of course, as these as it becomes more difficult to get crypto coins mined, it requires more and more electricity. So these industrial crypto miners are sort of moving to where the power is the least expensive. And Hut 8 seems to be set up well for this, but it, again, I thought it was going to bounce and it didn't, so it's a little bit frustrating on getting into it. Just wanted to show you my small portfolio. Now I do have another portfolio that I'm going to be starting probably this week. It's the crypto portfolio, and currently I have Bitcoin. The GBTC in there, and Hut 8 Mining, and I'm going to be fleshing that out. But for right now, this is my small portfolio. As you can see, I'm mostly in cash right now. I do have Ford; it is up. I do have Rambus. This is of course a chip company doing pretty well. And then I have Apple, and Apple is doing probably the best of all of them. A lot of people have been moving into Apple, so that's kind of the situation. There. I just want to show you the other stocks that I do have. That I do have there, and that of course is these are the stocks that I currently own. I own the QQQ. I did sell half of my position in the QQQ, and I wanted to explain kind of why I did that. Typically, when the market condition moves from a market in uptrend to an uptrend under pressure, we want to get 50% in cash. So I sold half of my QQQ holdings, and I am holding the rest in cash and then in the QQQ. I am kind of expecting a pullback in the market. If the market goes to a market in correction, then I will sell all of the QQQ that I have. But I have QQQ currently in the small portfolio. I also have Ford. It's up today, interestingly enough. I'm in with Tesla. I have my stop loss probably has been. I had my stop loss at 1080. I'm going to see if that was triggered. I may be sold out of Tesla. I don't know yet. I will find out after the show. Rambus, that is doing well. It's up a little bit today. Nike is down. I didn't have the bull call spread on this one. Then, unfortunately, I have the covered call on this one. I may be closing that, just depending on how well Nike's doing. It's off about $2.54 today. So, again, Apple is down a little bit, but still holding in there. Nvidia, the GBTC, of course, and that's where I have. That's in the portfolio. That's in the crypto portfolio. And then Hut 8 Mining. I tried to enter Riot Blockchain today. It pulled back. I was stopped out, so that's the reason that's not on the list. So it's kind of it's kind of been a tough one today. in general, it's been difficult to trade it today. So without a lot of other stuff, let's take some of the questions and see what we can do here with what we've got today. This is a question from Matt BBW. Now, BBW, of course, is not what you think it is. It's Build-A-Bear Warehouse, BBW. Let's take a look at it to see kind of, where it's at, and see if we can kind of get a trend or thereabouts. So let's pull that up. There we go. And BBW Build-A-Bear Warehouse. It definitely gapped up today. It's moved above the $21 buy point. It's right in the buy range right now. I would be a little bit hesitant about buying it tomorrow because I think it could settle below that line. I've just drawn a line, but it looks pretty good. I mean, it's in a fairly good price. Retail leisure products, 24 out of 197, and with a relative strength of 99. So that's pretty good, actually. It's got a very good checklist, basically an 89 checklist. So that is looking good. Let's look at the pattern recognition to kind of see. It is basically 3% above the pivot. And that indeed is a good number because we want to buy them within basically 5% of the pivot. So it's right in the buy zone. And that is indeed a good thing. Now let's look at the stage. The stage 2 of a consolidation, which is probably my least favorite of the base patterns, but it definitely is showing that. And the prior to that, the last base pattern it had, and that was about 200 days ago, was a cup with handle. That's actually one of the best patterns, but the consolidation is not a bad place to buy it. So this is definitely buyable the way I'm seeing it. Now, because of the market condition, I'd be a little bit concerned with this market condition. I wouldn't, I probably would not buy a full position here, just because I think that it is more difficult in this market. So I would say see, it was okay to buy. I would buy a half position. Here. So, and the reason, of course, for that, of course, is, we're in this kind of this market has moved to an uptrend under pressure, which is a more difficult market to trade. And so I think that, you could go in with a half position. I wouldn't go in with any more here, just based on the chart action. But it definitely, BBW, Build-A-Bear Warehouse, does look pretty good. So I could be, that could be a good place to do that. All right, so let's see what's being spoken. Okay, actually, I'm looking to see the questions on TikTok. No sound on YouTube. Yeah, I fixed that. So hopefully we're giving. Hopefully the sound is now good. I had a little bit of issue right as we opened up here with the sound on TikTok. So with the sound on YouTube. So I apologize for that, and we should be good now on the sound on TikTok. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the next question from David. Thanks for this warning yesterday to go to cash. Let's say, okay, good. Thank you, David. Yeah. One of the things I'm trying to do here is watch the condition of the market. I didn't eat all my own dog food. I kind of didn't eat as much of the dog food as I should have. I'm going to be putting out a trade alert tonight. I do think that we are in a situation where we're going to see a change in the market conditions. It's just that's what the indexes are saying to me. So I'm pushing my stop losses up tonight. I'm probably not going to enter any more positions. We're going to probably have a little bit of a sell-off here. Who knows? I hope we don't have too big a sell-off, but I definitely think, that is the case. So we are moving to a uptrend under pressure. Thanks for watching. And by the way, if you want to get these alerts, I'm going to be putting one out tonight. You've got to be on the action trade alerts. That's key. And the easiest way to do that, if you're watching on TikTok, is just to go to www.dallastradingfloor.com. And if you're watching on TikTok, just go to my profile, click on the thing that says beacons, and then get on the list. So I will warn you about a market trend that is moving to a market trend under pressure, and I'm going to do that probably tonight. I did start warning yesterday, and I was hoping that we would get a turnaround. We'd go back to the way it was. Unfortunately, not. I think it's going to go deeper. I think we're going to get more of a sell-off. Unfortunately, that's just kind of what it's looking like. Let's look at Macy's. And, I was stopped out of this one too. Unfortunately, Macy's, and this is tough here. As you can see, here's where I bought it. I bought it before the buy point. There was another secondary buy point at 28, and unfortunately, it is now down to the 40-day line. So right now, we got to wait for a bounce to buy this again. I still like Macy's an awful lot. It's in a very strong category. The 2 out of 197. So this is a very strong category. We may be able to buy this one on a reversal, but for right now, I think we got to be real careful. We got to watch this one and wait to see if there's a reversal, because it's just going to be it's just going to be difficult. It's just going to be difficult. So really, the thing to do right now with Macy's is to do the watch list, because it's just not buyable here. Even though the relative strength is strong, it's 97. That's excellent. But we're 4% below the ascending base, which is called an ascending base, at 28.40. So we possibly, this is a potential entry point, but I just think you got to be careful in this market. It's just not, because the market's turning over in general. I think we got to be more careful and just kind of wait. Now that's one of the reasons why I did send out the ready list yesterday. I did nibble a little bit on that. I did buy Riot Blockchain and I got spanked today. So you got to be careful, even with the ready list that I put out. And that is a good ready list, but it's just this market is a tough one, because I do think we are topping out a little bit on this market. So let's kind of look at the indexes here just to check. The one I, of course, look at all the time is the Nasdaq, and this is the Nasdaq Composite here. So let's take a look at that. It's just having trouble all over the place. The Nasdaq Composite it collapsed all the way down to the 40-day line. This is a signal. And unfortunately, with the RS line pointing down, this is a signal to start possibly beating an orderly retreat a little bit out of the market. So good time to look at everything. If you've got some winners, you might want to pare them down. You might want to sell them. And I wouldn't be entering any new positions. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm going to be reviewing all my positions. I'm probably going to pull out into a little bit more cash position. And I may close some of my spreads. I don't know. I'm actually, one of the spreads that I do have, it's still doing quite well, of course, and it makes money as the stock goes down, and that's Zelo. And as you can see, that's just continued to kind of move downward, and I have a spread on that one. But right now with the market condition, it's just it looks like it's topping out, and it looks like it's time that possibly we're going to have to be much more careful. As intended, Nvidia and NET options leaps. Yeah, any recommendations on Nvidia? That's a very good question. I am holding just a tad of Nvidia right now. Not very much at all. It has tested the 10-day line. It's still looking pretty decent. I bought in here just 25 shares, and I'll show you that. Here we go. I bought in on the 16th. I bought just 24 shares right here at 324. It's now at 315. So I'm off on this. I'm hoping to see some support here at the 10-day line. We will see. I'm going to probably stick with it, probably at least, until we reach this limit. So I may have been, I may have been stopped out on Nvidia today. I'm not going to be buying any more of it if that was the case, because it does look like that is starting to weaken as well. So it's just one of it's one of those things where we're starting to see the top in the market, and you just got to be really careful, really careful. Hopefully, Brian, I solved the no audio problem, so hopefully that's done. No sound. I know. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I have trouble with the sound here. Let's look at SLV. And that's the silver. Yeah, that doesn't look good either, I'm afraid. So I can't recommend this one either. It is a downward trend, And let's make sure that I have my sound here. I did have some issues. Yeah, no, we're going fine now. I did have some issues with the mic, and unfortunately, sometimes the software doesn't quite. There's some software updates that I need to do on the browser that seems to be causing this problem. So I apologize for that. Hopefully that will happen next time. Okay, let's look at CRM. This is one that I was sold out of. It has just been taken. It has just been taking a dive. I was stopped out basically in the 23rd at 291.73. You see, I was fortunate in that I got out then. It's at 252. It is bouncing a little bit here, but this is not a good place right now for it. So I think that if you're down 7% on this, and again, I try to eat my own dog food as much as I can on this. I bought in basically at 287 on the 24th of September. I wrote it up and I wrote it down, and then I was out. I kind of round tripped it. Not the greatest thing, but I was stopped out of the position. And I think if you're down more than more than 10%, more than 7 or 8%, you think you should really that should be the place where you exit. MTTR. Let's take a look at that Matterport. Boy, that's looking interesting. Don't know a lot about this one. It's in the computer software design area. That's a good area. That's been a very, very good area. The question is it viable here? Well, not really. It's sort of, the last real buy point was the consolidation. Stage one at about 1727 was the buy point on that one. It's currently at 31. So I just think you got to kind of let this one go. Unfortunately, this is extended, and you just don't want to buy extended stocks, especially in this market where it is pulling back. So this stock is extended. Would not recommend buying it at this time, just due to the fact that it's that when the market starts to turn over like this, not a good time to be buying extended. Just isn't a good time to be buying extended. All right, let's look at Intel. INTC. I think it's INTC. Is that right? Yeah, Intel. Good. Intel has been, unfortunately, also sort of in this downward trend, and I don't like to see that, but this has been underperforming in the semiconductor manufacturing area, which is a great group. This one has been underperforming. The real star probably in this group is, I think, TSM. Looks like a TSM. So I wouldn't recommend Intel right now. Taiwan Semi, a little bit of a pullback too. One of the ones that I do like is Global Foundries. I think it's GBL is the symbol of that one. I'm not sure. Gosh, this one just came out. No, that's GameCo. Sorry. Global. The one I'm interested in, of course, is Global Foundries. Like a GF. Well, I can't find it. But anyways, would not recommend. Just wouldn't recommend. Just wouldn't recommend Intel at all. Unfortunately, just not a good chart right now. All right, let's look at the Spider. This, of course, used to be, I don't think it is anymore, but this used to be the world's largest ETF. And it basically, what it does is it tracks the S&P 500, the 500 largest stocks in the market, and it's weighted to the value of the stock. So it's just kind of a proxy for the market. And this is something that is concerning. It does look like we're going to have a downward trend. Hopefully, it'll be able to hold on to this 40-day line. If not, the overall market is going to go lower, and we're going to probably have to do some selling tomorrow. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, but it's kind of looking that way. All right. Thoughts on trading the QQQ? Here's the thing. I don't like the TQQQ because you can get hurt on it. I'm typically a QQQ trader more than a TQQ trader, only because I've had some experiences with the TQQQ that were not pretty. Today, of course, it pulled down. It's still in the buy range. It's moving lower, but I'd be a little bit careful here. I currently am in the QQQ, but I did reduce 50% of my positions when the market condition changed. You can see it's a little bit less sensitive. Also, it's a little bit more expensive too. If we get another day or so, I'm probably going to be cutting. I'm probably going to be cutting my exposure to the QQQ if this market continues to move lower. But I do prefer trading the Qs. They're more, I don't think it's really a question of liquidity, but the QQQ is much larger in terms of size, so I do like that. Crowdstrike earnings for today. Was it oversold? Let's look at Crowdstrike. I think it was. CRWD. Let's see what the after hours action looks like. It looks ugly. Yeah, this wasn't holding up that well prior to earnings, and I don't think it's going to hold up well after earnings. Does not look good. It does have a little bit of a bounce, but I think this is a dead cat bounce, to be honest with you. Not looking good. Not looking good. I wouldn't buy Crowdstrike right now. I think it's going to be moving down. Probably, it's got a relative strength of 38. Probably moving down to about the 167 level. So, boy, that is a disappointment. But, if you're down more than 7% on this, I think you just got to sell it at this point. I think you got to sell it. It's just very, very painful. Fortunately, I wasn't in that one, but, believe me, I've been in plenty of them that have done that. So, just not a market that is easy to trade right now, unfortunately. I'm going to be setting up my stop losses very tight tonight. So that if there is a pullback, that further pullback, that I'll be out, hopefully with some profits. This is a stock that I don't know anything about. It's an oil and gas in Australia. I'm not really that familiar with this. It's the International Oil and Gas. It's a $3 stock. Normally, I don't like to shop at dollar store. This is kind of a dollar store stock. No offense. But, when they're down below $10, it's sort of a dollar store stock, and I don't really like to be in them. Now, oil and gas kind of is an exception because there are some, because they issue so many shares typically when they come out. But, $85 a strength is pretty darn good. I want to see if there's any pattern recognition on this one. Wow. Okay, so there was a pivot about 250 days ago. It was a cut basis, and it was at 170. Boy, not the greatest checklist. I just think for right now, I'm just looking at the technicals here. It's down 4% today. It's down on the weekly, it's down on the monthly, and it's down on the quarterly. But it's up year to date. So I just don't think you can buy this one. I just would avoid this one for right now. It just doesn't look like, I think that you might get lucky on it, but you might not. And this one just doesn't look good. So I would say avoid this stock currently. That's kind of the thing. I just think you've got to avoid it currently. Not, I'm not saying don't ever do it. Don't ever get into it. But boy, I just don't like I don't like this chart. And, it's tough because I want to find something that's good. I like recommending stocks and not saying don't buy anything. And I kind of sound like I'm saying don't buy anything, and I don't like that. But that's just kind of what the market's telling me. That's what the direction is telling me. It's telling me to kind of get some dry powder. That's kind of what it's telling me right now. NEO, the same thing. We've got a downward trend. It's below the line. I think you just right now you just can't buy it. It's just it's just not a good time. It's not a good time right now. So I just have to say NEO right now is in a downward trend. Avoid. And that's just not what I want to say, but it is. I mean, we kind of just got to avoid we kind of just got to avoid that for right now. So it's in a downward trend, and I think NEO, we just kind of have to avoid it. We kind of have to avoid it. Let's see if there's any other questions. It's probably going to be a little bit of a short day today. What do you think about Twitter? Let's take a look at Twitter. Jack Dorsey, of course, has resigned, and he is going to be looking at more crypto stuff. And I'm starting a crypto portfolio to see if to see what there is there. Boy, I tell you that the stock did not take Jack Dorsey's exit very, very well. It's got a relative strength of 12, and it is pulling back. So this one, folks, actually, I don't think this is a short because they've got great earnings. See on the fundamentals, they have very nice sales, but I just think there seems to be a lot of concern in this. There seems to be a lot of concern in Twitter right now. The chart doesn't look right, and it is pulling back. So I think with Twitter, you just got to avoid it. And so I just think you got to avoid this stock right now. I just think you got to avoid Twitter. The chart does not look good. Unfortunately. Wow. Negative Nelly today. I don't like that. All right, let's look at ZM. Do you think is it going to be for a rebound? Okay, well, let's look at ZM. Zoom. It might be. It's sort of been sucking back, but it might make a return. I mean, Zoom might make a return. It has been pulling back. It did pull back a little bit after hours. Let's kind of look at the weekly chart to see if there's going to be any. Yeah, boy, I don't like that chart. Let's look at the monthly. Boy, I don't like that chart. It looks like we're at the low of the low in the. We're at Zoom currently is basically where it was at the beginning of 2020. Boy, I don't like that chart. I think we need to see it. I just don't think we can buy it. Unfortunately, I don't think that Zoom is right now. I just don't think this is viable. So I think we've got to avoid Zoom at this point. I just do, because even though it's a great stock, it sort of got overhyped, and boy, it became too expensive, and now it's correcting for the market. Not saying that it's going out of business. It's certainly not, but we've got to be careful. We got to be careful right now. All right. All right. We got a question on Litecoin. That is a good question. Let's see if we can just zoom over. I want to see if I can get some more information on some crypto. We did have that's a good crypto question on Litecoin, and I'm just going to see. And one of the ways I've been doing crypto is I've been looking. Yahoo has very nice. Yahoo Finance actually is very good, and especially good considering it's. It's especially good considering it's free. But I want to take a look at the Litecoin just to kind of analyze that chart. And let's see, where is Litecoin? There it is, Litecoin. Click on that. And let's see if we can take a look at that chart. Yeah, okay. Here is the chart for Litecoin. So let me pull that up. So I don't know if you can see this. This is a little bit faint. This is a little bit faint here. I wish. Let's see if I can. I'm wondering if I can change this to like a dark pattern. I wonder if that allows it to do that. I'm going to have to settings. There we go. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can look at. Let's see if we can turn that background off to see it, make it look a little bit better. Extended hours now. I'm just trying to see if I can get a a better look on this. But anyways, hopefully you can see this. This is for Litecoin. It seems like there has some, it seems with Litecoin there's some support basically at about 200. I haven't really been analyzing Litecoin all that much, but I want to take a look at a kind of a year-to-date chart on it. We did have it. It moved up to nearly 400. Currently, it's trading at 207. So it's sort of in this. I don't know if I can do it here. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if I can move it forward here, but sort of so you can see it. We are off the all-time high. With this, you really want to buy it as it's reversing, and it does look like currently, at least with this chart that I have, it is currently moving down. So that is unfortunate. Currently, Litecoin to the US dollar 218.14. So does not seem to, I can't really see a good entry point at this point. But I'm going to try to study this a little bit more and see if we can find a good place to get in here. Let's look at Udemy, UDMY. So let's see if I can pull that up. And it's UDMY. And Udemy. And of course, this is an online learning platform. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about putting some of the stock trading videos that I've made on Udemy, but hold tight for that. It's not ready to go yet. Not looking all that good. It's pulled below the 24-day line. Earnings in 7 days. So I just think at this point with Udemy, it's just not a place you can buy it. I'm gonna look at some of the other aspects of Udemy to see if there's just anything we can see here on this stock. Just really nothing on the pattern recognition. It's got a terrible checklist. There are no options on it. Boy, I just think for right now we just gotta, it may be a good thing to put stuff up on, but right now we just gotta we gotta avoid Udemy. I think we gotta avoid it right now. Well, let's see. I think I got through all the questions today. It's amazing. I will be back tomorrow with some more stuff. Hopefully, I'm going to have, we're going to have to. Right now, I think with the market being the way it is, I think we have to be very, very careful regarding, I think we have to be very, 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 very careful regarding the condition of the market right now. I just right now it's just not it's just not in a good place. It looks like it's pulling. It looks like it may be pulling lower. So I think really the most important thing to do right now, the most important thing to do right now, is to start lightening up your positions and going a little bit smaller, because we are in a situation where I do think that we may get a pullback here. That's what my charts are telling me. So I think we want to get more into cash, lighten up a little bit, and not enter any new positions. I'm going to be pushing up my stop losses tonight. Be very careful because I do think we're just about ready for a pullback here. I did put out a warning on TikTok, and then I'm also going to probably put out a warning to everybody that's on the Action Trade Alerts. If you want to be on the Action Trade Alerts, super easy. Just go to www.DallasTradingFloor, and if you're watching on YouTube, just go to my beacon. Just go to my profile, click on the link, first and last name, and we'll get you right on that list. So I will be back tomorrow at 3:30. Thanks everybody for watching. So appreciate it, and happy trading. And be careful in this market. This is a tricky market right now to trade. You got to be very, very careful. Oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please like this. I would appreciate it. That helps me get out to a lot more people, and it really, really, really helps. So until tomorrow at 3:30 Central, happy trading, everybody. Stay safe and lighten up your positions. I do think we're coming in to some market turbulence.